Hey, what is up, guys? It's me, Sanosuke, and today I'm going to be reviewing Naruto Chapter 639. That's right, it is that type of time of week again. So, this chapter was pretty much all fighting. So that just means the review is going to be a lot shorter than last week's, which was like 16 goddamn minutes, and I don't have another theory or something like of that nature to really throw out to you guys. So, pretty much I'm just going to be talking about some of the highlights of this chapter. Now, it picks up right where the last one left off, and as I thought, the Hashirama that we saw was a wood clone. And he looks like he binds Tobito or Jubito, whatever the fuck you guys are calling him now. Obito. I've been seeing him being called Jubito in certain people's comments, which is just weird. But Obito gets basically pinned down by the wood, and he can't move. Or at least he decides not to move. And then while he's entrapped in that, Tobirama basically uses one of his jutsu that puts exploding tags on him that continually respawn and continually appear and continually explode. So it's like Conan's jutsu, but he doesn't look like he has to prepare it or anything beforehand. It's just a basic, I can do this because I'm a badass jutsu. So he does all that, and it does nothing, which should be expected because from a writer's standpoint, no one's going to be able to beat Obito unless it's Sasuke or Naruto or some combination of both. The Kages right now are basically just playing the role of, we're trying to feel him out and see what he can do because we can't die and we have unlimited chakra, so we're just going to keep attacking his ass and analyzing his techniques. Naruto doesn't freaking think about it like that. He's just kind of like, why are we just standing here watching the Hokages fight? And even Sasuke just says, look, we're trying to analyze their techniques, just shut up and watch. Basically, that's what Sasuke says. And Minato picks up on that. He's like, oh, this kid's, he's interesting. He's smart. He's a ninja, basically. He's like, oh, he thinks like a normal ninja, unlike my retarded son. He doesn't actually say that, but so that's what we're seeing with that technique. Now, Hiruzen basically says that he thinks that it works in the same way as Onoki's Keke Tota, the plasma technique, or the atom, I don't even remember what it's called, the particle smashing thing that he basically can obliterate anything that it comes into contact with. Basically, we just remove it from existence, basically. So he believes that Obito's technique works on the same principle, only to a much higher extent, because as you can see, when the explosions go off around Obito, he basically slices through it or negates. It looks like he probably negates it somehow using the technique hasn't had a name yet, so we're just going to call it Bijuu bomb manipulation. That's what we're going to call it. So he uses his Bijuu bomb manipulation to basically slice through all that shit, that basically explosion, so he's safe. And Hiruzen notices that it's malleable, meaning he can just make it changes shape, and he can kind of use it fluidly, kind of water. It's like water bending, and he can use it however he pleases. And he takes out Hiruzen after he throws he does his boring shadow clone shuriken jutsu. I just feel like it's boring because I feel like that's the only thing he does in the games. In the part 1, outside of the I summon the Monkey King Enma and the Reaper Death Seal, I feel like the only other thing that he does is throw goddamn shuriken and clone them and make them a ton more. But maybe I'm just too used to seeing that in the games. I don't know. But he does that, and Obito basically just says, get that shit out of my face. He slices through it and obliterates it, and that's when Hiruzen notices that it has a shape manipulation. So Obito then proceeds to, it looks like the way he can use the Bijuu bomb manipulation, he grabs Minato, or not Minato, God, I keep calling him Minato, I don't know why. He grabs the third Hokage's face, and the Bijuu bomb appears before his palm, and then it shoots through the hole in his hand and blows off not Hiruzen's face, but his entire upper torso is just gone. So it looks like it can fire kind of in a piston sort of mechanic. As soon as that opens, it can just shoot out. Now we don't know about the range. Does it fire like Bijuu bombs? Can he just sit there and blow out energy, looking like Dragon Ball Z character energy bombs at people? I don't think so. It looks more like the spear comes out and he can manipulate it up to a certain distance. I don't think he can, at least not right now, he can just fire them out randomly and just blow shit up. I wouldn't be surprised if he can do it later. when the Jubi reaches its final form, which is probably going to cause Obito to evolve into some crazier looking Zetsu rapist thing. And so yeah, he takes out Hiruzen, which was cool, I guess. And then Minato is going to go use some crazy technique. I can't remember what it's called. It's some crazy long technique, and it kind of just keys into the fact that when it comes to naming names of techniques, Minato has a tendency to just make crazy weird shit. And it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to guess that it's going to be him like flashing around or using a clone in himself to throw the Shuriken, his Flying Thunder God Kunai, and then he'll warp to different ones and fire Rasengans at people or hit people with Rasengans. That's what it sounded like. He was just going to move super fast and just like rape the target with Rasengans. And as he's going to do this, the Obito like is running or moving really quickly or whatever, and he suddenly bloats. Like, it looks like the Jubi's trying to, like, just freaking explode out of his body. And Obito hits his deck. And Minato's going to try and finish him off or do some damage to him or whatever while he's seemingly incapacitated. But the upper half of Obito's body snakes out and goes underground and shit. And, like, I guess he's got... he can stretch his body, I guess. And so he goes underground and appears before Naruto and Sasuke, and he's going to do the same thing he did to Hiruzen and blow off their faces, or really their upper torso. And Minato's looks like he's going to use the Flying Thunder God to go appear over there and help them. That's where the chapter ends. So obviously neither Sasuke or Naruto are going to die. Minato's going to get there in time and save their ass, or they're going to be able to save themselves. Now, another highlight that happens before this that I didn't talk about because I escaped my mind. Sasuke saves Naruto at one point in the chapter, and this is probably the only point in the chapter where there is something to analyze. So Sasuke saves Naruto using the Susanoo. He saves him from Obito, and he was going to go attack him with the blade-looking, the Bijuu bomb manipulation, as we're calling it. God, I sound like Minato making up weird-ass names. And he goes to attack him, and basically Sasuke saves him with the Susanoo arm, which is cool. So he gets saved, and he says something to the effect of, "You are not the one who will destroy the past or erase the past. I am." So it's kind of like, what does that mean? Does that mean that Sasuke still intends to kill Naruto? Because I feel like from the flashback of seeing the picture, it looked like it was like cut in half, or especially where like Naruto was kind of like X'd out of it or something in his head. Like, it looked like the picture was, maybe it's just a frame being cracked in his flashback, I don't know. But I kind of took it as, after this fight's over, I'm fighting Naruto, and we're fighting for who's going to lead the Leaf Village. That's how I understood his little, I will be the one to erase the past. And basically, I understand it as Sasuke's plan is to start anew with the Leaf Village all together. I don't know if that means he's going to try and kill everybody or what, but it looks like he still intends to fight Naruto in order to basically get rid of probably his own past and the past of the Hidden Leaf and start over again, start anew with him as the Hokage. And I have a feeling that he's going to be like an asshole number 2 like Danzo, and even though he's been through all this hell, I still think that he would be a dick of a Hokage. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And so he saves them, and it was kind of like a nostalgia moment. I didn't really think it was a homo moment in Naruto, which we have a lot of those. I didn't really take it that way. I kind of took it as he was saving his friend, which is, nice, even though he's kind of thinking about killing him later. It kind of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z in the, I almost said Lord Slug movie, wow, in the Dead Zone movie, where right after Goku and Piccolo beat Garlic Jr., they start fighting each other. That's what I feel like how this is going to end. Once they're done with Obito, we're going to have Naruto and Sasuke going at it. And then the other point in this chapter that I didn't mention until now, which happened earlier than even that, Madara appears before Hashirama when he's going to go join in the fight, and he basically says, "I'm sick of waiting, and now we're going to fight." So I guess we'll have 2 fights going on at once, and those 2 fights are probably going to all run into each other, so it's probably going to be one big clusterfuck. So it should be pretty interesting going forward from here. And that's pretty much it for this chapter review. I don't really like reviewing fight chapters because, as you can see, my thoughts are all over the place, and I don't script anything because I hate that shit. And I pretty much do, most of the time I'll do everything in one take. So yeah, if you guys want me to just stick to reviewing stuff that's not all fights, let me know. If you guys don't really give a shit and just want me to review Naruto every week, I will keep reviewing Naruto every week. So yeah, like this video, post in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts were on this chapter and the future of the Naruto series, really. And of course, click that subscribe button. I'm Sanosuke Tori, and I'm out. Peace, guys.